What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Jersey Devils Brocast. Welcome to one of our shorties. These are up on YouTube and our social media. Check them out. I'm Papa Reese, and I'm here with my brother Jim. How you doing, Jim?
Yeah, you know,
Yeah, I could be doing a lot better too.
could be doing better.
Know who
You
else
know,
could be doing better? Our Devils.
the entire team,
The entire team could be
the
doing.
entire team could be doing a whole lot better. It was like a murder scene yesterday.
It really
It was
was like a murder scene.
awful.
Completely took everything out of the whole entire stadium.
Yeah.
It was an early start with the garbage goal that went in.
Yeah.
Right through Markstrom. And it was funny because the commentators on TV were like, "Oh, look at the screens in front." I'm like, "There was no screen. He took a random shot. The Devils were completely out of place,
Yeah.
and not a great way to start Game 4. We're
Yeah,
leaving.
I know Markstrom didn't have a good sight of the puck it coming in. It was a floater from the blue line. There's a lot of guys between him and Svechnikov, but like you gotta stop that shot, man.
You really
First shot of the game, and it's just a floater. It's like Svechnikov looked like he was just throwing it on the net, and like we're doing a line change.
right.
Like it
That's
wasn't like
exactly what I
that
thought.
was it. And like that talk about like the wind in the air just totally coming out of the balloon after that. After they had a good first shift too, like that Palat
Right.
Heischer Meyer line had a good shift. Looked like we were getting something going. Okay, they came out with some energy, and then that was just done. And
Right.
then two more unanswered goals, and Devils try to make a comeback in the second, and then the
Nico
third
tried.
period just got eviscerated. And like
Completely and totally embarrassed at home.
yeah, and I thought Kochetkov coming in, that was a great opportunity for the Devils to like, all right, let's just hammer this guy. He's coming in
Right.
cold. He hasn't had a good track record in the playoffs. There's a reason Anderson was starting over him.
Yeah.
He's certainly the weaker goalie. It has been this year. And they didn't even really, they didn't even really they didn't
Didn't
really
have a chance
test
to look
him.
like
Yeah, they just didn't
first two
test him the
goals.
way they should have. And that was just it just summed up the last 3 months. That's how I felt.
Really, yeah. You
No.
know, Nico said we just have to get one on the road. It's like it's going to be an uphill battle, brother. Like we love to be positive on this show, but we
Yeah.
be realistic here. You know, it's not looking like doesn't look that good. I hate to be
No.
negative, but got to be
Yeah, it's
realistic.
as I, saying to you as we're trying to get the show going here today, I'm like, usually I'm trying to be positive. Like, okay, well, let's look at what we have. What could you build on with this? It's like this has been the same shit for the last 3 months. It's been Heischer, Bratt, and Meyer have been running the show for him,
Yep.
and then everybody else has been a zero. And it's been that way now for months. And some guys have stepped in and played better at times. Like Cody Glass had 5 good games.
Yeah.
Cool. What about the rest of the
Got the
schedule?
offside goal the other side.
Yeah, or Halla has played better end of the season. Great. Okay. Like some of the like Pesci and some of the defensemen have been playing. That I will say the defense has kind of played their ass off, especially with the wounded Warriors back there. No Dylan, no
Right.
Hughes. It's been Siegenthaler coming back, but it's been a real tough battle there. But the offense, man, the bottom six gives you absolutely nothing.
And it just
Nothing.
shows you how much we miss Jack,
Yeah.
at being just a leader and just being on the ice in general. It's like when our and that just like exposes us into being like if they don't have Jack Hughes, we can just take advantage of them completely.
Yeah, and like you think, I don't know. I'm trying to think back to like great Devils teams that actually weren't that talented. So let's go 2003, that Cup team, right? They were not like that was like one of the most defensive teams they've ever
Right.
had, maybe even more so than '95, right?
Hmm.
I feel like are the two teams that kind of epitomize that. 2000 was stacked, but like they had all these bottom six guys that gave you something if they weren't scoring, or they had
Absolutely.
guys you can move them up and down the lineup, like all the unsung heroes: Madden, Pandolfo, Sergey Breland, Grant Marshall, even Turner Stevenson, like guys that they weren't. I mean,
Right.
like Madden and those guys could score and do a lot more, but they were giving you great defensive minutes. They could forecheck hard. They were going to throw some hits. You can put them out against the other team's top line guys and open things up for. In that year, it was like Gomez and Newendike were the top two centers, and like
Right.
really help these guys out. The whole lineup, it lengthens your lineup. You can now roll four lines. You have guys that can play different roles. It's like if it's not Heischer, Brad, or Meyer on the ice, you have nothing going right now, and you
Yeah.
cannot win that. You don't have a chance in hell. And like the Hughes injury just, I think, further exposes that because now you can argue they don't even really have much of a second line.
Well, that's the thing. And
Like,
these teams are stacked right now that we're playing against. Like they're like deep
yeah,
teams
yeah.
like in their roster. Like right now we have good first two lines, but even the second line right now without Hughes, without, we're exposed
Oh,
completely.
yeah. Oh, yeah. And what does that say that you miss one forward? And this is
Right.
what happens. I know he's Jack Hughes. He's arguably your best offensive player. It's a huge loss. But
Right.
like this is what happens. You still have three other top line caliber players up there with Heischer, Brad, and Meyer. You
Mhm.
Dawson Mercer is supposed to be kind of part of that future. And he's one of those guys that's like an X factor that gives you depth. You can put him in your mid six, your bottom six, all that. Well, he hasn't given you much of anything,
He really hasn't, not
you
as
know, and like, or
late.
he's played a little bit better. I know in game three he had a good game. They highlighted that on a broadcast, but like
Right.
the last few months, man, it's like, when are we going to wake up here and start going? And
Yeah, even
yeah, it's
like
been frustrating.
Timo's trying, but it's not translating into anything on the ice, and that must be
Yeah.
frustrating for him too.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at the stats. The Heischer, Brad, and Meyer are tied for the team lead in scoring, 3 points each. Heischer with 3 goals, Bratt a goal and 2 assists, Meyer a goal and 2 assists.
Mm.
Everybody else, Pilatus 2 assists in 4 games, and you only have a point from a few other guys. And I was reading from Alex Shaughnessy, does Devils on the Rush Substack, which by the way is a great read all the time. He had a
Okay.
very good quote in his article that came out today. Devils have scored 7 goals the whole series. He sure has 3 of them, meaning he's scored 42.8% of the team's goals. One guy.
One
Meanwhile,
guy.
not a single bottom six forward has a goal or a point in the series. Meyer, Heischer, and Brad have combined for 9 points in 4 games. The rest of the roster has just 7 combined. Think
Uh,
about that. That's 18 skaters combining for 7 points. That's from Alex Shaughnessy, Devils on the Rush Substack.
how are we even here right now?
Yeah, I mean, that's
And how are we here right?
pitiful.
And we don't want to be negative, but we got to be realistic, like we were saying earlier. And you know, if you want to make a big push, everybody's got to contribute. Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
got to step up, especially when Jack is out, especially now with Luke out, with Dylan out. Everybody's got to step up and have a good game. I was Nemec, like, oh my God, like he had a
Yeah,
great game.
certainly
He
a highlight.
stepped
Yeah,
up. He stepped up when it counted, but like we need that consistently. You
yeah.
know, you can't be inconsistent and make it deep into the playoffs, and
And
that's
it's tough to put that on a young guy. Like, hey, you're now our second pairing guy
this
right
is a
now when you're
team. Like there's
21
other
years old,
people,
and like
other
they have
people.
injuries and like certain things. It's like shit happens. You're missing 3 of your 6 defensive men. There are very few teams, if any, in a league that can withstand that. Like, has
Right.
there ever been a like right now? It's like if you had the 2012 team, it'd be like take away Kovalchuk and like take away, I don't know, Salvador Green and Zidlishki.
Right.
Like, do they even get out of the first round with Florida? Maybe they do, and they definitely wouldn't get through Philly that year, right? I mean, it's a tough hand to be dealt, but these non-competitive periods,
I know. It just looks like we're just
come
getting
on.
dominated the whole game. We're on the penalty kill all game. It's so
Mm-hmm.
frustrating too.
Yeah,
It's
and their
so
penalty kill has been
honestly.
garbage.
Yeah.
That hasn't been good either.
Our
So
power
that,
play's been shit too. So,
yeah, and we in our playoff preview show we talked about how Carolina is the best penalty kill in the game. Devils
right.
probably aren't going to score much on the power play. They're going to have to kill penalties themselves
Right.
and they're gonna have to match Carolina in terms of penalty killing, which it looked like the Devils all year that wasn't going to be a problem. Well, apparently now it is,
Yeah.
and score 5-on-5, which has been the only way they've scored, but it's not a lot. They're not scoring.
Right. Well, also like
Yeah.
Dougie, not 100% right now.
Mm-hmm.
Seeks, not 100% right now. You put these guys on the ice, you want them on there, you want them the energy, but like, are you also holding yourself back with that? Dougie looks okay. Like he looked good on the power play. He looked good a couple times last game. Siegs, like I love the guy. Like, and he got an assist though. Didn't Siegs get an assist the other day?
Yeah, and he was a warrior in Game 3. I
Right,
mean, he was
right.
awesome in Game 3. But
Well, yeah, you just got to keep that up, and he's
yeah,
probably hurting a lot, got to go into the ice bath, but
well, yeah, that's like we said, they're missing 3 out of 6 defensemen, and 2 of the guys they have in the lineup right now weren't even really supposed to be playing right now.
exactly.
So it's
I
looking
mean,
good.
Yeah. You know what I really blame this whole thing on is the fact that they ran out of the beer
I
uh,
know.
hockey sticks.
Yeah, I saw the outrage from fans on that. Talk about,
I would have
yeah,
thrown
what's that about?
I would have thrown something. I would steal it from a kid that's drinking beer for some reason. Uh, it's just you have to have these things on hand. Everybody's gonna want one,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I really blame them for the big
Mm-hmm.
loss.
Yeah, it's karma.
Yeah,
It's
it is
just a
karma.
bad vibe. You
You're
run out
damn
of
right.
you run out of beer related items. That's a bad vibe in a playoff game.
Oh my God, I saw like the cocktail cup that they made too
Mm-hmm.
that I was talking about.
Yeah.
Thing is tiny. Thing
Yeah.
is smaller than my cell phone.
Yeah.
Like it is a tiny, tiny little cup. I
Yeah.
know it's for a cocktail, but come on.
Yeah. Well,
Make
you're
it
also
look
a big guy, man. You need a big cup.
if
And you're
I held that, it would be
6 foot
like a
7.
golf ball, you know? Not even a baseball.
Yeah, just a bad karma starting on the concourse and making its way down to the ice, I guess.
I think speaking of golf ball, we don't want to be negative, but if they don't make a big push in Carolina, I think the boys are going to be hitting the links.
Very soon, yeah.
Think
It's
they're going to be having to practice their swing instead of their shot,
yeah.
you know?
And in Carolina, such a tough building to play in. Like,
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
they
let's
also
be
have
real.
great golf courses in Carolina, so
They do.
they
I've been
might just
down to
go right
Myrtle.
to
It's a
the
great
course.
place to play, Great
Right,
place
yeah.
to play. Um, Eagles Nest was a great golf course down there. But I don't know going into Raleigh. I mean, it's the same thing we've been talking about all these every other game. You got to come out with energy and yada yada yada. But at the end of the day, this team is wounded. They're banged up. Now they've bounced back from bad losses. We've seen them do that countless times. One thing I will give this team is they don't give up. I don't think it's a lack of effort. I just don't think they're good enough. And the bottom six is just not good enough. It just isn't. And go back to the deadline and talk about not acquiring guys. And we've talked about that ad nauseum here of like, well, no one was
In the face.
traded and yada yada, and that's fine. But now this is when it's they're they really don't have much to work with, and it's tough to watch when it's not Heischer, Brad, or Meyer on the ice. I will say that. So going into Raleigh, where now they have all the matchups because they get last change.
Right.
I mean, talk about a uphill battle. I don't think there's anyone in the world that's picking the Devils. So let's go
I
shock the
hate to
world,
say it,
man.
but I think you're right. Yeah.
It's let's go shock the world and try to bring it back to Prudential Center, and you never know what can happen. But
We've done it a
it's
couple
tough.
times in the past, but
Yeah.
not with half the team on the mend, you know?
Yeah, that's if they were healthy, you can go, well, if Jack Hughes gets hot or Luke gets hot, look out. These guys could
Yeah.
really come and make a push, but they don't have any of them. And Luke is done for the playoffs. Dylan is done for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that was on Brat Pack on Twitter. He always has the inside scoop.
Right.
That they're done. It looks like Luke has the same injury his brother has, holding his shoulder and leaving the ice. I don't know what's the deal with shoulders and the Hughes brothers.
And he didn't even hit the guy. Like he bumped into him.
And
It
rolled
was like
over awkwardly,
casual
and
love tap, and he just falls on the ice. You feel bad for him, but
yeah,
I mean, it must be painful. I mean, he wants to
yeah,
play. The boy wants to play. So,
yeah. If he's not playing, considering what guys are playing through right now, he's really hurt. I'm guessing he's wouldn't be shocked if we heard he got surgery or something like that too. But
and if the boys, like I said, if the boys don't make it out of Carolina, maybe they just stay, and they
yeah,
hit the links,
yeah.
and maybe they should hit up Laura Bacalar, who is a certified travel advisor and owner of the travel agency Explore Joy Travel here in New Jersey. She plans custom trips designed for all types of travelers, whether it's a river cruise down the Rhine River, a scenic train ride through the Alps, a food tour in Spain, a road trip to the Canadian Rockies, or maybe playing some golf in Carolina. You know?
The Devils, yeah.
Yeah. She plans travel that fits your style, your pace, and your priorities. Visit explorejoytravel.com to schedule a free consultation and start planning your next great adventure. Explore Joy, travel more, expert planning, and effortless travel. Let's go Devils. Maybe you'll see him on the golf course.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the name of the golf course?
I think it was Eagles Nest. I did it when I played college golf. Me and a buddy of mine in spring break drove down to Myrtle.
Oh,
Stopped
nice.
in Raleigh, by the way, and saw the arena the Hurricanes play. And this is a while
Okay.
ago. It was 2012. and
Right.
played down Diamondback and Eagles.
Okay.
I think it was Eagles Nest and Indigo Creek, which I don't think is there anymore. The John Daly course, which I was very disappointed because they didn't have a lot of beer there, which was like blew my
That's
mind.
shocking.
Yeah, we are like, all right, this is we were playing 2 rounds that day, 36 holes, and we're like, dude, second round, we're just gonna be crushing beer all day. It's the John Daly course.
Right.
And it's like they
They
had
should
like
be
Miller
like
Lite, Corona,
injecting you with that.
Bud Light, and that was it. I'm like, really? I thought this was gonna be like pick your beer type of place, but
You shouldn't be allowed on the course without a beer from
yeah.
the John Daly course. Like,
Yeah, it's
I
not there. I don't
agree.
think it's there anymore, and that's why they
Oh,
didn't
that's
have
why.
enough
Yeah.
beer.
Maybe he was too busy drinking all the beer.
He was. Well, he
Right.
deserves it. He's John Daly, do whatever he wants.
So, what do you think we got to do in game four to even have a chance? Or game five, right? Sorry.
Yeah, come out of the gate on fire. Gonna have to forecheck hard, throw hits, throw Carolina off their game, and they need Jacob Markstrom to bring his best game of the season.
Absolutely.
That's it. And you're gonna have to score some dirty goals. And if they don't get any contributions from their bottom six, which even Keefe more or less indirectly admitted, saying we've been having a tough time. Not verbatim here, a tough time scoring. It's hard to imagine now all of a sudden we're going to be dominating offensively. It's like their
Mm,
bottom six gives them nothing. If they get some contributions there, you get 2 goals, one from your third line and your fourth line. Maybe you have a chance here to make some noise, but like this team can't score basically more than 2 goals. It's really in 60 minutes.
it's
It's
nuts.
crazy.
It's
Yeah.
nuts right now. But let's stay positive. Let's hope that the Devils
Here's
come
our
out
hope.
swinging. You
Yeah, and you never know. Your back's against the wall. Nobody's picking the Devils right now. There's no
Exactly.
pressure on the Devils. Just go play your game, bring it back to Newark, and anything can happen.
Bring it back home, boys. Let's try to bring it back home. And listen, this Tuesday night, 9 p.m., it'll probably be during the game or after the game. We have
Mm-hmm.
our live show, Jersey Devils Brocast, on
Mm-hmm.
RadioGardenState.com.
Yep.
Make sure to listen in. We're going to be listening to some good tunes and we're going to be talking about the game. So we hope to see you there. Thanks so much for listening to one of our shorties. My name's Papa Reese,
I'm Jim. Let's go Devils.
and let's go, Devils.